All right. Welcome, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to dive in.
Awesome. This time, we're tackling the samurai.
Fascinating subject. Layers and layers to unpack there.
You said it. We've got some incredible sources to help us out. The Book of Five Rings, Hagakure, and some historical accounts, too.
Can't wait to see what gems we uncover.
Right. Everyone pictures a samurai with the swords and armor, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much more to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Way more than meets the eye. It's a whole philosophy, a way of life. It's about honor, discipline, loyalty.
And that's what we're going to get into. What did it really mean to live by the way of the warrior?
Let's find out.
So first things first, where did these warriors even come from? They didn't just magically appear, right?
Definitely not. It was an evolution. Think 12th century Japan.
Okay, way back.
Yeah, back then they were more like protectors, serving a local lords, guarding estates, that sort of thing.
Like the emperor's bodyguards, right? One of the sources mentioned that.
Exactly. But things really started shifting around the 16th century.
Something big must have happened.
You got it. It was the rise of the daimyo, powerful feudal lords controlling different parts of Japan.
So they needed warriors to back them up.
Precisely. That's when the samurai really stepped up. They became this elite military class.
So it wasn't just about guarding anymore.
No, it was about power, warfare, strategy. And as their role grew, so did their code of conduct.
Which brings us to the Edo period, right? 1603 to 1868.
That's it. Samurai went from battlefield figures to a defined social class, and that's where Bushido really solidified.
Okay, Bushido, this is where things get interesting. It's more than just fighting techniques, isn't it?
It's a philosophy, a moral code.
One of the sources actually called it the soul of Japan.
I like that. It really captures it. Think about it. These Steichi, righteousness, Jin, compassion, courage, honor, loyalty.
Wow, compassion. That's not what you usually associate with warriors.
Right. But that's what makes Bushido so unique. They weren't just brutal fighters. They were supposed to be cultured, refined.
One source even mentions they were expected to be as good with a calligraphy brush as they were with a sword.
Exactly. They were developing their minds and bodies. It wasn't enough to be strong. You had to be a well-rounded person.
I'm seeing a pattern here. Strength and refinement, discipline and compassion.
It's that balance that defines the samurai. It wasn't about mindless violence.
Okay, so how did this all play out in their lives? Did any of the sources give specific examples?
Tons of them. Take the story of the 47 Ronin. It's one of the most famous samurai tales.
Yeah, one of our sources talks about that. Those guys were serious about loyalty.
Unwavering loyalty. Their master was wronged, so they avenged him, even if it meant sacrificing their own lives.
Intense. You don't see that kind of dedication every day? Makes you think about what loyalty even means today.
For sure. Our world's a lot different, but that story captures something essential about the samurai spirit.
Okay, enough philosophy. For now, let's talk weapons. Everyone knows about the katana, right?
The iconic samurai sword. But there's so much more to it than just a sharp blade.
One source went deep into the craftsmanship. Specific forging techniques, different schools of swordsmithing.
It was an art form. The curved blade, the balance, the strength and flexibility, all crucial for their fighting style.
They had to draw fast, strike with power.
Absolutely. And they didn't just rely on swords either.
Nope, they had the yumi, the longbow. One source described it as their sole companion.
Powerful weapon, essential for ranged combat. Then you've got the naginata, that long pole with the curved blade.
Versatile warriors. They could fight up close, from afar, and even had unarmed combat styles like jujitsu.
Years of rigorous training, both physically and mentally.
Speaking of legendary figures, we gotta talk about some famous samurai.
Oh yeah, history's full of them. Where do we even begin?
Well, we gotta mention Miyamoto Musashi. His book, The Book of Five Rings, is one of our sources for this episode.
Classic text. More than just swordsmanship, he goes deep into strategy, mindset, self-discipline.
He wasn't just about winning battles. He was trying to understand life itself.
The true mark of a master. And then there's Yagi Munenori, another incredible swordsman and strategist.
Served the shogun, wrote extensively about swordsmanship, emphasized mental preparedness.
Fascinating guy. His writings give us a glimpse into the samurai mind.
And we can't forget Shishiyoshio, leader of the 47 Ronin.
That story's still huge in Japan.
It really captures the samurai's commitment to honor and loyalty.
And there are so many others. Saigo Takamori, Shimada Kiyuki.
Incredible figures who continue to inspire us centuries later. But the samurai legacy goes beyond individuals, right?
Absolutely. It's woven into the fabric of Japanese culture. You see it in art, literature, film, even business practices.
Yeah, one source mentioned how their emphasis on discipline and ethics influences Japanese companies today.
Dedication, hard work, respect for hierarchy, it all ties back to samurai values.
And their impact goes way beyond Japan. Think military history, strategy.
Their tactics, their discipline, their philosophy, it's been studied by leaders and strategists worldwide.
It's no wonder people are still fascinated by the samurai. Look at Edo Castle, Surugoko Shrine, major tourist attractions.
Drawing people from all corners of the globe, it makes you wonder, how would those samurai values work today? Righteousness, compassion, loyalty.
Big questions. Could we even apply them in our world? I think that's something for our listeners to ponder.
Definitely. This deep dive's just the beginning.
There's so much more to explore. The Book of Five Rings, Hagakure, those are great places to start.
And think about it. How can those ancient values guide us in the 21st century?
That's something to think about. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time.